Good afternoon and many thanks for making it time for KTN Newsdesk. This is indeed news as it happens. It is the 20th day of August 2013 and my name is Boni Tunya. Ahead in this particular bulletin, CORD leaders are meeting currently at Orange House to deliberate the way forward in regards to their party over the recent statements they've been having regarding the referendum. Also, senators and leaders allied to the Jubilee coalition are meeting at the Vice Deputy President's residence currently, and we'll be getting both of those reports in this particular bulletin. Stay tuned. Welcome to the program. Jubilee members of Parliament are currently meeting at the Deputy President's residence in Karen to address what they term as in-house matters. However, the Jubilee leadership is seeking to whip its members to speak with one voice on the crucial national issue such as the push for referendum, which they feel the CORD brigade wants to take advantage of. Sam Ogina is on ground at the Karen, the Deputy President's residence, and brings us to speed with what is happening by way of phone. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Boni Tunya. Indeed, we are at the current residence for the Deputy President, and senators allied to the Jubilee Alliance, plus also those members of Parliament are trooping in at the residence here. Remember that this meeting is actually just to make sure that Jubilee Alliance members of Parliament and senators speak in one voice on matters of the referendum. Given that just the other day, senators allied to Jubilee Alliance actually pulled out of the referendum, saying that they were withdrawing their support. Now, we've been told, or rather we've received information that some of the issues that are being to be discussed today actually will be circling around the referendum issues, trying to forestall a referendum, but actually trying to push away so that the Senate can have their way. Remember, the Senate has issues to do with having more power, and also just to resolve that, the push and pull, the relationship that they have with the National Assembly, just to try and do away with the friction that is there. Remember that if the Senate passes bills and they are transmitted to the National Assembly, in one or two occasions, the National Assembly has been able to actually amend or to what the Senate feels like is watering bills generated by the Senate. And also what the Senate is pushing for is more money for the counties so that the counties can be up and running, trying to increase their budgets from that is 15% to at least 40%. Remember, all these issues are the same issues that are being pushed forward to be done through a referendum. That is amendment to the Constitution to have budgets for counties increased, or rather the Senate to have...
Right. Sam Ogina, allow me just to jump in, Sam. Yeah. We do know the President is out of the country, and probably this meeting will be chaired by the Deputy President, but who else do we expect of importance to be in this particular meeting?
Well, the meeting is a Jubilee Alliance meeting. That is, the Deputy President will be chairing it, but all senators and National Assembly members allied to the Jubilee Alliance are expected to attend this crucial meeting just to try and find out a way of forestalling a referendum and actually try at the same time, as much as they're trying to forestall a referendum, but also try to actually push the Senate agenda through.
All right, Sam Ogina, many thanks for briefing us in regards to that particular all-important meeting by the Jubilee Coalition. Sam Ogina is at the Deputy President's residence in Karen, and he'll be getting to us details regarding that particular meeting. But what we do know right now is that the meeting is supposed to handle in-house matters, as the Jubilee leadership calls it, and basically try to whip their team together to be able to speak in one voice in regards to the calls for a referendum. Talking of meetings, there is yet another meeting on the opposite side of the divide. That is the CORD coalition that is currently meeting at Orange House, and Patrick Amimo is right there with the very latest regarding this particular meeting as regards to the way forward. Good afternoon, Patrick.
Good afternoon, Boni Tunya.
What exactly is the agenda of this meeting, Patrick?
Indeed, I'm at the Orange House where the party members did convene their meeting at around 11 in the morning. And what is happening here is that it is the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, National Executive Committee meeting, which is meeting. And the person chairing the meeting is the Orange Party leader, Raila Odinga. What I understand is that part of the agenda of this particular meeting is to strategize on their national delegates conference, because the party wants to fill up these positions after the elections, when some of their members did express interest to join political offices. And as the constitution stipulates that if you're a state officer, you're not to hold any party office. So the National Delegate Conference will be ratifying the new members who will be occupying the party positions which were vacated by those members who joined either the National Assembly or Senate. You remember so well that there is this tug of war between the young Turks and those old guard in the party, vis-a-vis on how they'll take up these particular party positions and probably stir the party into more, make it more vibrant. So it's the National Delegates Conference is one of the agenda they are trying to discuss. And obviously, I think the issue of the referendum will come on board, because the party has also been championing this idea that maybe they go the parliamentary system body.
Now, Patrick, of course, the referendum is one of the key areas that we expect to be discussed. You mentioned it is an ODM meeting and not a CORD coalition meeting. But what is the expected position going forward regarding the events that happened at the weekend, where it was reported that the Prime Minister had backtracked his position on the referendum?
Indeed, on the issue of the referendum is a very dicey matter, because when it was raised, the party members are also split whether to go parliamentary or presidential, and some are of the view that they'd rather push the idea of devolution, which is maybe having a lot of sympathy from the voters. This is why the party leader, the CORD leader Raila Odinga, appeared to have backtracked and at least give this devolution idea a chance to go ahead, because it was also raising some concerns from the Jubilee side, which with some accusing CORD leadership of trying to hijack the process and introduce some matters that were not part of the original agenda. So I think part of this National Executive Committee meeting will be to look at how maybe they can take up this one position of devolution and be their baby to take to the Wananchi when it comes to the referendum.
All right, Patrick, I mean, we have to end it there and let you get on with the meeting. But of course, KTN will be bringing you the outcomes of those particular two meetings. The Jubilee Coalition is currently meeting with the Deputy President, and the ODM side of CORD Coalition is currently meeting at Orange House, both regarding in-house matters, as they call it. But of course, expected would be the referendum agenda in these particular meetings. Moving on, 3 people died on the spot and scores injured in a road accident at Dukamoja in Narok East. The incident occurred after a water tanker lost control and hit a Nissan Matatu that was coming from Mai Mahiu. The Matatu then hit a bus that was behind it. Those injured were rushed to the Narok District Hospital for treatment. Residents say the area is a black spot for accidents, and drivers are cautioned to be watchful while driving through the area and avoid speeding. A Naivasha farmer is counting losses after wild animals raided her compound, killing 10 sheep and seriously injured dozens of others. Now, the farmer suspects that the animals could have been leopards roaming at the Nyonjoro village in the nearby forest. Now, the late night incident has left the village in panic, with residents reporting that 4 homesteads have been attacked in the last 3 months. Locals accuse the Kenya Wildlife Services of not doing enough to calm the human-wildlife conflict.
Ni kitu imehappen na hatujui kama hii leopard sasa itarudi ianze kukula watu ama pia unajua.
Sijui tufanya nini sababu hata nilipigia watu wa KWS hata saa hii sijawaona. Kwa hivyo sijui nitasaidika namna gani. Na tena uoga niko nayo ni jioni. Sababu sijui jioni kama tena sitarudi.
Counting the losses indeed, but who else is counting losses? A suspected gangster was mysteriously murdered by a known gunman after he was cornered on the Meru Maua in Ruiru Junction. The police are investigating the motive of the shooting. Charity Kimani has that report.
A week before he met his fate, police say the man surrendered himself to the Meru police station. He claimed his life was in danger after demonstrations were held by residents who accused him of being a security threat. At 7 p.m. last night, the man is said to have been driving in a vehicle along the highway when he was cornered by two vehicles. The police said no bullets were recovered at the scene, raising questions over the whereabouts of the bullets that were used to kill the man. The police are relying on some leads from the crime scene to establish the truth in this murder mystery. Charity Kimani, KTN.
Now, a well-wisher in Embakasi who donated land to the government for construction of social amenities is crying foul after the land was invaded by unknown people who have started subdividing it and selling it to unsuspecting members of the public. The landowner is accusing politicians in the area of grabbing the land he donated for use by the public and now wants the Nairobi County government and the Lands Ministry to intervene and save the land lest the well-wishers be discouraged in future from such good deeds.
Central government wakuja wachukue jukumu, wachukue hii shamba ikatano, wajengea wananchi shule, wajenge polytechnic, social hall na vitu zingine za kufaidi raia. Alafu kama ni wale waliuza hii shamba wanajulikana, ni wanasiasa wanajulikana sana, wanafaa wachukuliwe hatua kama mtu mwingine yote asiyetii amri ama asiyetii sheria. Isikuwe kuna watu ambaye wanakaa ni kana kwamba wako juu ya sheria, wana intimidate wananchi.
Residents of Oyugi's town are now and its environs are now up in arms following a spate of robberies that have taken place in the area in the recent past. Now, the area member of parliament Oyugi Magwanga led residents of Kasipu Kabondo in blaming the police over the laxity in dealing with crime in the area. The MP says the police are working with a group of gangsters to terrorize residents and rob people of their personal effects. Residents took the law into their hands early this month and lynched over 10 suspects.
We are not going to relent when it comes to issues of insecurity within Oyugi's town. We are not going to give up. And the police should know very well that it is no longer the police force that used to be there.
Right, so the area member of parliament is called Oyugi Magwanga and the area is Oyugi's town. What a coincidence. Now, in 1946, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta lived in a house next to the then Kenya Teachers College in Githunguri. The man who would become Kenya's first president bought a heavy metallic safe in which he stored vital documents. Wilkester Nyabwa tells us that story of the house and the safe that guards secrets from Kenya's past.
The old and the new find a meeting place here in a house that has stood for over 6 decades. It sits silently, an ordinary-looking house behind the Githunguri district headquarters, holding on to extraordinary secrets. This was first President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta's home for years before he was arrested and taken to Kapenguria. Kenyatta returned to the country in 1946 after 18 years abroad. He reunited with an old friend, Ronald Ngala, and agreed to teach at the Kenya Teachers College in Githunguri. With a new job in place, he needed a home within walking distance.
Gari hazikuwepo nyingi. Ati angelala hapa na angelala Gatundu na kuja hapa. Alijengewa ili awe karibu na shule.
And when the house was complete, Jomo became the first occupant of the house next to Ronald Ngala's. The new house served as a meeting place for local and regional leaders fighting against colonial rule.
Afrika siku hiyo ilikuwa kuna nchi ya Afrika ilikuwa na uhuru. Walikuwa na jadiliana hapa kutoka viongozi kutoka Afrika nzima.
Sensitive documents and money were often entrusted to Kenyatta for safekeeping. It was only logical that shortly after he arrived, Kenyatta procured a metallic safe. So heavy was it, it is reported that 30 men were required to carry the safe into the house, but only Kenyatta had a key.
Wakati huo pesa zilikuwa najengwa zilikuwa na rokotwa kila mahali katika Kenya. Na age group. Hapa iko marika ya miaka kama 3 hivi nafanya rika moja. Alafu nafanywa kiongozi mmoja kutoka area kama hii ya Kiambu ya kurokota pesa mahali pesa zitapelekwa za kujenga shule na za kuokoa nchi yetu. Kwa hivyo siku hiyo hakuna benki.
Activities at the house came to an abrupt halt in 1952. At the height of the liberation struggle, Jomo Kenyatta was arrested together with 5 others and sentenced to prison in Kapenguria. He would remain behind bars until 1961. Even after he was released and went on to become Kenya's first president, never again would Kenyatta set foot in the house. Nobody could find the key to the safe, and it is reported that it has never been opened since.
Kama aliwacha ilitolewa na wazungu wale walimurithi kwa sababu walikaa kwa miaka mingi na tena ndani ya nyumba. Mtu tunaweza kujua tu ni ile kitu tunaweza kusema tunataka ije hapa ni zile nguo alikuwa anavaa kwa sababu alikuwa anavaa majaketi ile ya ngozi na makofia ile mkubwa ile ya skauti alikuwa anavaa hizo.
But the house found new occupants. It was the property of the provincial administration and housed various officials. The current occupant is a veterinary officer. She and her family have made a cozy home here. But the history of the house has not been completely forgotten. The National Museums of Kenya has gazetted the house. It has, however, never moved or opened the safe. Among those who know the story, it is rumored that Kenyatta's locked safe may contain vital documents, such as original maps that mark out Kenya's boundaries. Others, however, believe that all valuable documents were taken out long before Kenyatta was arrested, leaving behind only items of sentimental value.
Wakati alijua atashikwa, ile mambo muhimu yote alitoa. Na hatujua alipeleka wapi. Mahali alificha. Zile vitu tunaweza patikana huko tu ni mambo tu ya shule, document ya shule wakati ilikuwa inaendeshwa. Na kama sasa hiyo hali ya watu ya Afrika inaweza patikana huko kwa sababu wakati alishikwa 1952 mwezi wa 10 hakurudi hapa.
67 years after the safe was carried in, it sits silently in the house in which Kenyatta once lived, the silent witness to the country's history, jealously holding on to its secrets. Wilkis Anyapwa for the 50-year series.
News just breaking is that the ICC has ordered Deputy President William Ruto to be present throughout the hearing of the ICC prosecutor's appeal against the judge's decision to exempt Ruto from being present for sections of his trial at the Hague Court, which is set for the 10th of September. The hearing date for the appeal is yet to be determined. Of course, that particular breaking news that the ICC has ordered William Ruto, the Deputy President, to be present during the entire period of his hearings. We shift gears to business, and Equity Investment Bank and CBA Capital have been admitted as trading participants by the Nairobi Securities Exchange as part of an initiative to open up its country's capital markets. According to the NSE board, this is part of a move to being a demutualized exchange with the self-regulatory responsibilities. The NSE says priority for the investment banks to trade at the bourse will be given to market participants with existing licenses from the CMA. Now, the move by Equity Investment Bank, which is an affiliate of Equity Bank Group, is seen as a way of making the markets accessible to common mwananchi, who has in the past had limited investment opportunities. Now, both firms will be required to implement use of technology to make it safer, faster and cheaper for an investor to trade securities listed on the NEC anywhere in the world. We shift gears to sports now, and the Kunku Dilagans motorcycle defending champion Saptal Sin will parade his 1952 DWK machine during the 43rd edition of the Car Beauty Pageant next month at the Jockey Club of Kenya. Satpal will be among the 40 motorcycle competitors and are 70 classic vintage cars to be inspected. Satpal has been a regular participant at the annual event since entering for the very first time in 1986. Among the cars to make their debut this year include a single-seater Austin racing car, which will be nurtured by Great Ghana, and a 1928 Chevrolet Coup. Chana will also be parading a 1928 Chevrolet Box in the class for the pre-1940 cars category. Right, that's how we finish things here on KTN. Remember, www.standardmedia.co.ke is the website you need to be checking out. My name is Bonnie Tunya. Good afternoon.